rigorously tested to be everything-proof and perform all day. Ministry of Supply, comfort everywhere and locked by science.
Hey everybody, but liquor sales are pretty good. Moonshine's made for times like that. Hard times comes with strong spirits.
Right now, gold's at an all-time high. The bad news is it's really hard to get
Gold Rush 1, new Friday at 9 on Discovery.
On August the 17th, 1942, General Friedrich Paulus's Sixth Army crossed the Don and began a final push on Stalingrad. Six days later, one panzer thrust had reached the Volga River just north of the city, and German forces were fighting in the outer suburbs. Now began one of the most prolonged and intense battles of World War II. Slowly, the Germans edged forward, street by street, with Stuka dive bombs blitzing just ahead of them. The fighting was savage, house to house, room by room. The Soviet defenders used the sewers for shelter and communications, and the ruins above for sniping. Russian reinforcements had to be brought across the river. Often they were under assault from the air. But even so, thousands got through. By late September, the Germans had pushed their way through most of the city, almost to the Volga. For Hitler, the capture of Stalingrad was now an obsession. On October 4th, 1942, General Paulus launched what was meant to be the final assault on Stalingrad. Tanks led the way, grinding over rubble and firing point blank into courtyards. One German officer said, "The advance is measured in corpses, not meters." German victory seemed certain, but in fact, the Germans were dangerously overextended. By mid-November, the Soviet army was bringing in reinforcements. More than 1 million troops, 13,500 guns, 900 tanks, and over 1,000 aircraft were secretly moved to the battle zone. On November the 19th, they attacked the Germans' northern flank. After a massive artillery barrage, the T-34s and assault infantry burst through the German positions. Now, it was the Germans who surrendered in their thousands. The next day, a Soviet assault in the south was equally successful. And on November the 23rd, these pincer movements met west of Stalingrad, cutting off the German Sixth Army. General Paulus, in charge of the German forces, could have broken out, but Hitler ordered him to stand and fight. The Führer had been assured by the Luftwaffe that sufficient supplies could be airlifted into Stalingrad. This was enough for him to announce that the German positions must hold out until relief. It was probably too late anyway. Marshal Zhukov now unleashed the next stage of his master plan. It was a massive assault on the Panzer Relief Operation. The panzers were pushed back, away from the city, and by the end of December, all hope of relieving the German forces in Stalingrad had gone. Worse still, plans to airlift aid into the city were a fiasco. The German troops needed 700 tons of supplies a day to survive. They never received more than 8. The weather was too bad, and the Red Air Force now commanded the skies. Steadily, the Soviet troops squeezed in on the encircled Germans. 200,000 men were trapped. On January the 8th, the Soviets called on the Germans to surrender. They refused. On January the 31st, 1943, Paulus was forced to surrender. Over 100,000 men stumbled off into captivity. Only 5,000 would ever return to Germany. Stalingrad had been a bloody battle. The Germans had been sandwiched. They had lost some 300,000 of their men and at least as many of their allies. The Russians had lost about the same number, including thousands of civilians. It was Germany's greatest catastrophe in the war so far, but it wouldn't be the last. The Red Army was now inflicting massive defeats on Hitler's forces across the whole Eastern Front.
America's favorite game has come to life.
Everything on the set is edible.
Extras are proud of competition with eye-popping showpieces.
It's epic.
Wow.
Christian with host Candyland, all new, Sunday night at 9 on Food Network.
From deserts
There's a lot of things out here that can kill you.
to deserts,
That's so delicious. I like what you delicious.
whatever you're into. Which are the discovery family networks. Discover the deep clean Brazil discs. They remove not only visible stains, but even invisible dirt. For a true deep clean, try Brazil discs.
Water tastes like water, so we fixed it. Neo.
Think outside the oven and get thanks grilling. With this, get a Traeger grill to make tasty turkey and desserts. This week, take advantage of great deals on Traeger, with free assembly and delivery on all grills $3.99 and up.
Are you managing your diabetes using finger sticks? With the new Freestyle Libre 2 system, a continuous glucose monitor, you can check your glucose with a painless 1-second scan. And now, with optional alarms, you can choose to be notified if you go too high or too low. And for those who qualify, the Freestyle Libre 2 system is now covered by Medicare. Ask your doctor for a prescription. You can do it without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre2.us.
Think you're managing the moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease? I did. But even when I was there, I never knew my symptoms would keep us apart. So I talked to my doctor and learned Humira is for people who still have UC or Crohn's symptoms after trying other medications. And Humira helps people achieve remission that can last, so you can experience few or no symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
I don't have anyone here I can talk to. Just making me want to go home. Trying to remember to
I thought it would go better than this. The Other Way, all new, Sunday late on TLC.
Need better sleep? Try Nature's Bounty Sleep 3, a unique tri-layer supplement that calms you, helps you fall asleep faster, and stay asleep longer. Great sleep comes naturally with Sleep 3, only from Nature's Bounty. Ready to shine from the inside out? Try Nature's Bounty Hair, Skin, and Nails Gummies, the #1 brand to support beautiful hair, glowing skin, and healthy nails. And try Advanced, now with 2 times more biotin.